Hello YouTube, this is Aviation Blue Tech coming to you with another video. Today is gonna be my first video of London Heathrow's realistic airport. Um, if you guys are new to this channel, I've been doing JFK realistic update for over a year. I just completed that series, so I moved on to this airport, London Heathrow. I'm not gonna be here. I'm only gonna do about four updates on this airport. Only because I don't have all the aircrafts the models that I would need. Especially for British Airways, I don't have that kind of money to be spending buying a bunch of British Airways aircrafts. But I'm gonna try to. I have a lot of the wide bodies that come into London, so since I have a replica of Terminal 5, it was only fitting that I do my first airport that I do after JFK will be this one. So I plan to do about 4 of these videos. It's mainly going to be four broken down to like mornings, middle, noon, then afternoons, then nighttime. Um, so what I have here is, of course, the replica Terminal 5, which is British Airways. Behind it is also part of Terminal 5. It's going to be British Airways. So I know there's another wing after that, but, since I'm not going to have that many British models, I don't need another wing for it. But if you move on to this wing over here, excuse me, this is going to be Terminal 2, those two wings. I think it's 18. I think they have 20 something gates. I only have 18, so we'll figure that one out. And then on this side, this terminal, which was former, also this is a replica of Amsterdam, so I used it for JFK, kind of, and it worked out pretty well for Delta. So this is going to be my Terminal 3. These two those two terminals there, and then upstairs is going to be my Terminal 4, which was I believe was Terminal 1 for JFK. So I'll be honest, there's a lot of models. I have about 80% of the models that I will need to come do a realistic update for London Heathrow. So I would be substituting some aircrafts. I don't have, especially the narrow bodies. Some of them I might be just to include them. I'll do like a 330 or so, and so I have most of the airlines. I just don't have the actual model that I will need that flies into London. But I will point that out, let you guys know. So anyway. So that's just an information of this. So if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and I'll be coming out with more videos. And so without any further delay, let's get this first London Heathrow's update started. British Airways 747-400 arriving from Cape Town. British Airways Airbus A380 arriving from Hong Kong. British Airways 747-400 arriving from Lagos. Virgin Atlantic Boeing 787-9 arriving from Hong Kong. British Airways 777-300 arriving from Sydney via Singapore. British Airways 777-300 arriving from Hong Kong. Cathay Pacific 777-300 arriving from Hong Kong. British Airways 777-200 arriving from Boston. British Airways 747-400 arriving from Riyadh. British Airways 787-9 arriving from Kuala Lumpur. Arrived from Cape Town. Arrived from Hong Kong. Arrived from Lagos. Arrived from Hong Kong. Arrived from Hong Kong. Arrived from Sydney via Singapore. Arrived from Hong Kong. Arrived from Boston. Arriving from Riyadh. Arriving from Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia Airlines Airbus A380. Arriving from Kuala Lumpur. Saudi Arabian 777-300 arriving from Jeddah. United 777-200 arriving from Washington, Dulles. Singapore Airlines Airbus A380 arriving from Singapore. Saudi Boeing 787-9 arriving from Riyadh. Thai Airbus 340-600 arriving from Bangkok is usually an Airbus 380. American 777-300 arriving from JFK. Qatar Airbus A380 arriving from Doha. British Airways 787-8 arriving from Abu Dhabi. British Airways 777-200 arriving from JFK. British Airways 777-200 arriving from Newark. British Airways 777-200 arriving from Toronto. United 767-300 arriving from Newark. Arrived from Bangkok. Arrived from Abu Dhabi. Arrived from JFK. Arrived from JFK. Arrived from Newark. Arrived from Toronto. Arrived from Newark. TAP Airbus 330-200 departing for Lisbon is usually an Airbus 320. Swiss Airbus 330-200 departing for Zurich is usually an Airbus 320. Departing for Lisbon. Departing for Zurich. Air France Airbus A330-200 departing for Paris is usually an Airbus 320. Cathay Pacific 777-300 arriving from Hong Kong. Virgin 747-400 arriving from Johannesburg. South African Airbus 340-600 arriving from Johannesburg. Japan 777-300 arriving from Tokyo. Ethiopian 767-300 arriving from Addis Ababa. Air Canada 777-300 arriving from Toronto. Air India 787-8 arriving from Delhi. Gulf Air Airbus 340-300 arriving from Bahrain. United 767-300 arriving from Chicago. Virgin Atlantic Airbus 340-600 arriving from JFK. Etihad Airbus 380 arriving from Abu Dhabi. Qantas Airbus 380 arriving from Sydney, via Dubai. Jet Airways 777-300 arriving from Mumbai. Lufthansa Airbus A320neo departing for Frankfurt. Brussels Airlines Airbus 330-300 departing for Brussels. SAS 737-800 departing for Stockholm. Alitalia Airbus 330-200 departing from Milan as usual an Airbus 320. KLM 737-800 departing for Amsterdam. American 777-200 arriving from Raleigh-Durham. Delta 767-300 arriving from Detroit. United 767-300 arriving from Newark. Delta 767-300 arriving from Atlanta. Delta arriving from Boston. Delta arriving from JFK. Virgin Atlantic Airbus 340-600 arriving from JFK. American Airbus 330-300 arriving from Charlotte. China Southern 787-8 arriving from Guangzhou. Emirates Airbus A380 arriving from Dubai. Aer Lingus Airbus A320 departing for Dublin. British Airways Airbus 320 departing for Barcelona. British Airways 319 departing for Edinburgh. British Airways Airbus 320 departing for Belfast. British Airways Airbus 319 departing for Dublin. British Airways 767-300 departing for Madrid. British Airways Airbus 321 departing for Vienna. British Airways A321 departing for Hamburg. Departing to Barcelona. Departing for Edinburgh. Departing to Belfast. Departing to Dublin. Departing to Madrid. Departing for Vienna. Departing to Hamburg. Aer Lingus Airbus A320 departing for Dublin. Virgin Airbus 330-300 arriving from Miami. Virgin Airbus 340-600 arriving from Washington Dulles. Singapore Airlines 777-300 arriving from Singapore. South African Airbus 340-600 arriving from Johannesburg. United 777-300 arriving from Houston. Delta 757-200 arriving from Philadelphia. Delta 767-300 arriving from JFK. KLM 737-800 arriving from Amsterdam. Lufthansa Airbus A320neo arriving from Frankfurt. American Airbus 330-200 arriving from Philadelphia. American 777-200 arriving from JFK. United 777-200 arriving from Chicago, O'Hare. Delta 767-300 arriving from JFK. Well, this concludes this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, take care.